Listen, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast entitled We Ain't You in That. And we are back in this thing once again. And this is We Hate You Internet. It's a podcast designed to bring up awareness of the problematic effects of the internet on our lives, as well as celebrate the beautiful simplicity of our humanity. I'm your host, Wilbur Hamilton. I'm sorry. 63 episodes. Mm. It still gets a chuckle out of me. Earlier, I had a little dramatic pause. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of my skills. People may not know that, when I was in 8th grade, I was in theater arts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a competition. You know what I'm saying? Brought back some medal. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, my teacher, thank you, Miss Davis. You know what I'm saying? She saw talent in a young man. You know what I'm saying? It was only for like half the year. But nonetheless, the lesson stuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It helps you add, dramatic flair. You know what I'm saying? To all of the stuff that I be doing. Anyway, sit alongside me.
It's Clara Aguirre.
What, girl, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't know where to. Didn't ruin
Sitting alongside me is she's a female. She have on jeans, burgundy shoes or whatever. Her name is.
Clara Aguirre.
Oh man. And that's the episode for today. You know what I'm saying? Come on, ladies. 63 episodes in, man. We gotta have this stuff down.
I know.
Man. Can we edit this? Can we edit this out or something? Clara Aguirre. It's in the building. It's nice to see that we can still have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says. Anyway, listen, it's been a great ride thus far. We want to continue to thank everybody for their support thus far for the platform. We've been gaining a lot of traction. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of eyes. People been commenting. People been following. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Our subscriber count has been going up steadily. You know what I'm saying? We on our way. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as you see this. Look out for your people, man. Come on, man. We working hard out here. You know what I'm saying? Reward our labor, you know what I'm saying, with a subscribe, you know what I'm saying, a like, a follow, or something. Do that. You'll see the little thing that says subscribe at the bottom. Production upgrades, you know what I'm saying, we doing that. We out here making a difference. Anyway, like I said, thank you. I was talking all that trash. I'm giddy today. Today's episode, we'll be talking about AI updates. I believe this is number 7. I'm almost certain this is number 7. Yeah. It's been quite some time. It's been a couple of months since we had an AI update, and boy, oh boy, have there been some updates. We started this whole series of episodes because, like, as I've stated multiple times, I think that the AI development is it is the issue to keep track of with all the other stuff that's going on in the world. AI, the development of AI, should be something that everybody should be paying attention to because it will change every aspect of your life. You know what I mean? And innovation is cool, is great. You know what I mean? It'll bring a lot of benefits, but you have to understand that with every yin, there's a yang. You know what I'm saying? With ebb, there is flow. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to understand that it's going to bring some negative stuff with it also, and you need to be aware of these things so that you can minimize the effects in your life. That's what We Hate Your Internet is all about, right? We look at the internet and everything, like when the internet first came out, like it was like a novelty thing that people kind of like, oh, the internet. You know what I mean? It was dial up, all the sounds, and it was like cool if you had a computer or whatever, but you didn't need it to live. Like it was just kind of an extra thing you had. Now, fast forward 20 years or so, and now
you need it.
It's in every aspect of your life. There is no aspect. This show is brought to you by the internet.
Yeah.
Doggone it. You know what I mean? So every aspect of your life is touched by the internet in some shape, form, or fashion. And AI would be no different. It will affect every aspect of your life. And just as people are they are worn out from being engaging with social media and the internet the way that they do. Like they have a mental burnout, an emotional burnout. Like it's you using up a lot of energy trying to keep up with all of this stuff and how fast things are moving. Like AI is gonna kick things up times 10, times 100. You know what I mean? And like if you're not aware and you're not proactively making preparations for these changes, then you're gonna get caught up in the tsunami. And like it's gonna be ugly. I you know, when we first started this thing, like I was saying, we've been in for a year now, and some change. And I started a year ago. We were talking about the same thing. Like, yo, this is what's coming down the pipes. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna get ugly. You know what I mean? And like it's happening. That's the way I said it. I was talking to my wife the other day. We were riding, and I was just talking about the platform. I look like this is like my baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm always talking about this, thinking about this. Like I never turn it off. I'm always on. And I was just thinking, I'm like, it's funny because like 2 years from now, like you're gonna look back and we're gonna have 3 years worth of records showing that like we've been talking about this. You know what I mean? And it's credibility, if nothing else. See you in 2 years. But like I told you, you know what I'm saying? Like you need to start making preparations now because this, like I said, it'll bring a lot of innovation. There'll be some cool things that'll come out of it, but there's gonna be some stuff that is like it's gonna change life as we know it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you need to start being aware. It's like politics. I compare it to like politics. There's a lot of people that aren't involved with politics, and I'm not heavy into politics myself, but like politics, we had episode 29, we talked about politics. It affects every area of your life, even if you're not aware. Like if you're indifferent and you're like, oh, you just living your life, like there are laws being passed every day, decisions that are being made every day that affect your everyday life. You just aren't aware. You just aren't aware of the changes. But like the fact that your taxes go up on your property, somebody voted on that. You know what I'm saying? Like the tax that you pay on the stores, people vote on that stuff. Like everything that you interact with, like there are votes that are going on that people are making decisions that are aware. They're making decisions that are affecting all the other people that are unaware. You see what I'm saying? And you just paying more money or you do whatever it is that as a result of the decision that's being made. And like AI will be the same way. Like it's gonna come, it's gonna change, and then you're gonna just get caught up and swept up in the change and that comes with it. You know what I mean? And so AI updates. I really want to kind of focus in on the family for this episode. Because, you know, families are already having a hard time as it is. You know what I mean? With like, especially like parents and their children, people staying connected, period. Like obviously, and I'm gonna be quiet, I know you ain't said nothing since you messed up the intro. So I'm gonna let you talk. I'll just play it, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just thinking about like what you just said with the fact that, I mean, we've been talking now, we've been on the show for like a year and some change, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time we talked about AI and it was ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like the issue was that ChatGPT students, people are relying on it for like education and for the answer, the end all be all answer, right?
Yeah.
But now when I search AI, I see AI is using drones, war, for killing people, deciding who they're going to kill. And it's absolutely insane. And this is about a year difference.
Yeah.
If you had told me when we started the show that that's what would come up on Google, like I would have thought like maybe in a movie, but it's something that we're seeing in real time. And it's really like, it's crazy because I think you're right. Like, can you imagine what it'll be 2 years from now? And it's funny because we see it and it's very easy for us to dismiss certain things. But literally a year ago, when you and I talked about AI the very first time, it was ChatGPT.
3.0.
It was 3.0. Mm-hmm. It was about writing essays and colleges not liking it. But now when you look it up, you can see that AI is in drones. AI is making decisions on how to navigate war. AI is used for propaganda. Like, that sounds deadly and dangerous. So
Yeah, I remember saying it's not gonna be like Terminators with robots blasting cats. You go back and check the clip. If you scroll down Instagram all the way down the bottom, you'll see me talking about AI with robots blasting cats with lasers, right? but
it's what they use. Like, their videos were and we talked about it in a few episodes ago, where there was a guy recording a drone that was following him, that was using AI to follow him, and it's just crazy. Like, that's crazy. And I've seen other things too, of like them using drones to mimic sounds of children to lure people out and then killing people. Like, that's crazy, and it's happening. It's happening. And for people to think, oh, well, you know, it's no biggie, but people are losing jobs. And it's only benefiting really the top 1%. It's just, that's a whole other conversation. But it really is affecting so many aspects of our lives, whether we like it or not. Like, whether it's something that we want to talk about right here, right now, or wait until to send it to the next guy. Like, it's coming around.
And listen, yeah. So we talked about the military stuff episode 5. Update 5. We talked about AI in the military and some of the stuff that you just talked about. Like, and it's getting, like I say, it's advanced. Like, it's crazy because in a year's time, Sam Altman, that's the guy that's over OpenAI. They creators of ChatGPT. He was saying that, like, ChatGPT 4, which is what they're on now, he's like, it's gonna be the dumbest version of ChatGPT ever. Like, they're making some advancements now that make ChatGPT 4 like, it's just like a mess. It's like broken compared to what the stuff they got coming out. They have planned coming out, you know. And I remember when 3.0 came out, it was like a thing. They were like, well, 4.0 is way smarter than 3.0, and like they finna come out with a 5.0, and it's gonna be like, it's gonna dwarf 4.0. And you think about how fast this stuff is coming. Like, people don't even have a chance. There's some people that still don't even know what ChatGPT is. Like, never even like used it or anything. And it's moving so fast.
Or they just accepted it, you know? They're just like, oh, okay.
So anyway, I don't want to get all caught up in the emotional, so I want to kind of talk about some stuff. So one of the things I want to talk about, and I'm gonna link all this stuff together. I would like to say AI in the family is kind of what I want to kind of deal with. University of Auckland, right? They are operating, and they created this AI system that mimics a baby. They call it Baby X. You know what I mean? So it's like a baby on the screen, but it's powered by AI, and it interacts with them. And they created it to like mimic baby development, so they can try to figure out how to like best communicate with a baby and stuff like that. So when I see stuff like that, like, I already know how this stuff works. You see the betas, but that's not the end result. Like, there is an objective that they're trying to reach. Mm-hmm. This is just one of the steps in that objective, and typically there's money at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? Or control, power. It's one or the other. Very, very rarely is it like good intention. And even if it is good intention, there's somebody in the shadows lurking that are waiting to use it for power, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nuclear energy, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, oh man, you can power a whole city, man. You can do such great things with this new energy source. How can we weaponize it? The man in the shadows. How can we weaponize it?
Yeah.
So, you know, anyway. And then here you go, talking bombs. So anyway, I look at that, right, and I'm like, man, like, I think about, and I'm gonna keep it real. Like, people don't like, I've said this before, people don't like people, man. And it's really sad, but like, it's crazy, man, and it's true. People don't like people. And it's like, people don't want to have children because they see children as like a liability. My thing is that people don't like children because they grow up and they can't control children. You know what I mean? Everybody not everybody, but like, that's what they see children like they rather have a dog. A dog you can control until the day they die. You know what I'm saying? Like, a dog is like, your dog is like a puppy until the day they die. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feed it, you pet it, rub its belly, You can talk for it. Y'all have conversations. You know what I'm saying? And like, that dog is never going to ever challenge you or like grow, like, you know what I mean, ask you questions or like, you know what I'm saying, or disappoint you, or like get outside the realm of the parameters that you set for that animal. You know what I'm saying? But something like this, people will like this could replace children. I can have a baby that's AI that I interact with that replaces the void of having children. Population control, that's another thing. It's going to be matched up with the virtual world, meta, and all that kind of mess. You know what I'm saying? So then you can have a family inside of the metaverse, all within your government issued and subsidized housing arrangement. We talked about this in other episodes. I'm telling you, like, and it's crazy. As crazy as it sounds, man, listen, this is where we're going. UBI, Universal Basic Income. Elon Musk had a recent interview. He was saying like it's basically going to be unavoidable. Like that's what it's going to be. You got to think about like AI is the software, and then you got the humanoid robots, and it's like a race. It's like 4 or 5 companies trying to come up with a functional humanoid, like humanoid stands biped that moves like a human, like a person. 5 or 6 companies, several countries, pouring billions of dollars into creating a functional humanoid robot. You know what I mean? You create the mainframe, the robot. You upload the software. I'm using software in the word loosely, the AI, and then this thing functions on its own. It's like iRobot. We watch all these movies. This stuff is happening. You know what I'm saying? Larry Fink. All this stuff is tied. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. They probably like they own
everything.
Just about, or at least they hold stock and assets for
everything.
Basically, basically, yeah, they got a lot of pull. But he was saying like AI is going to increase pay and productivity for the people that still have jobs. That's the part he left out. You know what I'm saying? Because any job that can be replaced with a robot will be. You know what I'm saying? We talked about this AI in the economy. You know what I'm saying? Like episode 10. I'm going down the history. We could pull the receipts of this joy. We've been talking about this for a long time. It's coming. It's happening. Like people are gonna lose. Any jobs they can replace with a robot, they will. And then what they're gonna do is they're converting all this open office space and any kind of space they can use. If you even remember when they really start pushing the minimalist movement, like repurposing buses and different little things to like little homes and like really downsizing the size of houses and everything. Like you start seeing a lot of these houses that are being built, they really don't have no yard. Like it's just like they all like back to back real close to each other because they minimize the space and it's gonna get even smaller. Like just like people have cubicles that they work in, like that's gonna be your living space. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what's coming. All this stuff is government subsidized, right? Like, and you're gonna get your UBI, your stimulus check from the government every month, and then you're gonna use that pay just like welfare. Like you get a check from the government, like you're gonna use that money to pay for your government, your assisted living space, very small space. They're gonna have virtual reality that keeps people's mind occupied. So your life is gonna be virtual reality. You'll take medicine to deal with all the psychological effects that you will experience by being isolated and separated. Because you see pharmaceutical, there's a disorder for everything now. There's a reason for that. You know, best believe. You know what I'm saying? And then AI is gonna cover everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the future that we're heading for. And I saw so the AI piece with the baby, right? You know what I mean? Like that's your children. You get to, like, people love babies because you get to, once again, babies and dogs are like similar. You get to talk for them. Oh, look at you, little man, blah, blah, blah. And the baby's like, eh, because they don't know you. It's when they start talking back that you have a problem with them.
But I don't think that's why people don't want to have kids, though.
I don't say altogether, but like,
I think they do it
Oh,
for
go ahead.
profit.
I don't want. I've been talking for a long time.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. It's okay. I hear what you're saying, and I see what you're saying too. But I think that everything that they do is motivated by, but motivated by money. And like, I think they recognize that we have a population that does not want children for a multitude of reasons. And because they recognize that, they want to make something that will provide them profit anyway. And I mean, what better than just creating this little entity that they could use and sell and promote and also gather your information on? Because that's the currency also. I think people forget this. Data is currency.
You better believe it, lady.
And if anything, I think now it's more valuable than money for some of these companies. And because, I sit here and I listen to you, and one of the questions that comes up is, but why? But why? But why? And that's why, because data is currency. Like, they want to know what is in your head. They want to know what drives you, what makes you want to get up from bed, and what makes you want to go back to sleep, and what makes you go to work. And they want to know these things because it's power. That's power. That would provide them power. Because again, to a normal person like who's never read an AI article and never talked about AI, you sit here and you're like, that sounds like too much. Like, nah, there's no way. But remember what world we live in. Remember the world we live in. We live in a world. Let me speak on our country. We live in a country that does not represent the majority. They represent their personal biases, their personal goals and intentions. That's what they stand for. When they are out here, these politicians are out here preaching what they preach, promising you promises that they are not going to keep. It's because they want to secure their position in power, not because they actually want to make any sort of change in your life for the betterment of you and your experience and your kids. That's not why they do it. They do it because they have their own agenda. And it's the same thing with companies. It's the same thing. Like, yeah, sure, it'll be convenient for, you to maybe, instead of you buying a ticket and flying to Mount Everest, you just put on your virtual reality glasses and it's like you're there. But it's not. They'll try to sell it to you as if it is, but it's not. And that seems like something really small, not a big deal. But it's something, it's similar to like with our social media. Like, we immediately agree to the terms and conditions. We scroll for hours. We like things, we save things, we repost, whatnot. Like, everything we do is being tracked and monitored, and not for the betterment of us. It's for the profit of someone else. and
you're absolutely right.
I think at the end of the day too, what people forget, I think, it's not just about the money. It's about the power. It's about the power. At the end of the day, money only matters because we make it matter. Mm-hmm. But that's the game. At the end of the, like, billionaires, do you think they got $100 in their pocket, $200 in their pocket? No. Most of their money is in assets. They have the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want, because they have convinced us that money is important and that, you know what I mean? Like, we're separate from them. And they're going to want to keep those positions in power. So it's interesting to me when I hear these things, and just to kind of like, because again, I'm not someone who's always locked in on the internet. I'm not someone who's always like, I rarely post. If I do post, it's like every now and then. And I was that person that was like, there's no way. Like, it's just in movies. But again, when we first talked about this, the issue was that AI was writing things. Mm-hmm. And now it's developing into more. What makes people think that it's going to stop there? It won't.
It will not. CEO of Bumble, big dating site, right? She mentioned that the future of dating, right, is that you will have a personal AI that will date somebody else's AI, and then they'll recommend matches. So the AIs will like link up, go over like your mental profile, because you talk to this AI all the time, and they'll say, well, this should be a good match for you. And then like you'll try to like meet this person. as crazy and as sci-fi as that may seem, and people are like, man, that may not be a bad. Listen, we talk about all the time close quarter compatibility. That is the natural way that human beings get together. You know what I mean? Like, it's about getting to know this person, seeing this person operate in real space. Like, but the fact that the CEO of this company is openly stating this, like, this is where we're going. Like, you got to believe that. We're talking about the family, like.
It feels so artificial.
Of course it is. I mean, the A and AI is artificial.
I know, but but there's a difference. Like what I'm saying is, you have some sugar, and then have some Splenda. Sit here and tell me that if you think Splenda is better than sugar, you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel right. It's it's inauthentic.
Yeah, I'm with you. 100%. I'm with you 100%, lady. You know what I'm saying? So we're heading toward a world where you are a digital slave in every sense of the word to the government and to the various companies that own the licenses of all the little tech and apps and
that you've agreed to,
that you just skip over all the contracts and you press accept. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you want to have some fun.
Basically, and every aspect of your life will be filtered through a computer program. Like I said, and all of it, at the end of the day, the play is for those who have, those that are wealthy, those who own, they will experience the earth as it is meant to be experienced. They'll have life the way that it's meant to be experienced. And then those that do not have will be boxed off into boxes, given a headset, and you'll be doped up until you die. Like, and as crazy as harsh as that may sound, like, that's where we're heading. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we're already pretty much there in some ways.
I mean, listen. And so, like, we just hopping to skip away from, like, if you ever seen a movie, Ready Player One, great movie, by the way. Like, that was cats living in the slums, and they have these, like, omnidirectional, like, little pads, and they have headsets, and they live on, like, in a virtual world. Like, that's their real, like, their life is lived in a virtual world. And then they come out to log out to kind of sleep and do whatever they need to do in junkyards, and then, like, that's where they live their lives. Like, and as crazy as that is, as crazy as Terminator is, as crazy as iRobot is, like, listen.
It's not, though, because we literally have scientists. We had a scientist years ago that set himself on fire because he self-immolated because he was trying to warn the world of the atrocities of climate change that were coming. And and I'm not trying to fearmonger, but these are scientists. Yeah. Scientists they're doing this out of desperation. Yeah. They're doing this because they want to help, not because they want to hurt, you know? They have nothing to gain from speaking out on these things. And I know you said we're kind of turning more into WALL-E. Yeah, I mean, the world is getting hotter. The oxygen is getting more polluted. Like, of course, I just feel like if you don't notice it, if you don't see it, maybe it's because you're just running from it. But there's evidence everywhere. There's evidence everywhere of this. Mm-hmm. And I think, no, it's not too crazy to think that they would want us to kind of enjoy the world from our bed and, like, our little, virtual reality glasses, because, I mean, the coral reef died, you know? It died because the ocean is getting hotter. It's not the same that it was. There are animals that are becoming extinct. Crabs, they went missing. Like, I think it was, 2 million that just disappeared. These things are happening right now. So, no, it's not too crazy that they're going to want to dope you up and just have you, just look at the pretty pictures. Like, it's not that crazy.
So what can you do, right? So I know people like, after all this, like, well, what can I do? Listen, while you have the opportunity now, you need to buy real assets. I'm like, this is something that I discuss with my family. Like, group economics is gonna be something that's gonna be very important. Getting with people that you love. That's the reason why family is so important. You know what I mean? And the idea of family is being tarnished, but family is important because you are born into a system or a group or a clan that has collective interest. By birth, you have collective interest. That don't mean you can trust everybody you're family with, right? I'm not saying that, but like there are people in your family that you have similar interest. Like you and your siblings, y'all share parents. If something happened to your mom, all of y'all are affected. All of y'all shouldn't care about your mother. So making sure that your mom is taken care of is something that each of you have a stake in. I'm just using that as an example. So then like you can work together to make sure mom is taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Your lineage, your blood, like this person have your last name. Like you have a collective interest in this person's well-being. So you have collective interest in families. I think one of the things that are completely lost, and I think actually like in a lot of other cultures, they do that. You know what I mean? Even I like a lot, and even in a lot of Hispanic cultures, they do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll have a family of people living in a house, multiple families living in a house. They working, they grabbing money. You know what I'm saying? And they pulling in money from however many odd jobs they can do, and they like paying for a house together. And then we get this house paid for, and then we'll buy another house for another family member, and we'll just keep doing it till everybody got a house. You know, Middle Eastern families do that a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I know I had a friend. You know what I mean? His family owned like gas stations. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, people love. Boo from Simpsons, stereotypical, but there's some validity to that stuff. There's a plan, there's a thought process to this. It ain't just no, I'm just a foreigner and I'm
no.
in a place.
There's a plan. Mm-hmm.
You got one. People sending money. You get two. And then you send a family member to come over, and then you give them a store so he can make money. And then he pay you back a little bit, and then y'all work together and get 3, get 4, get 5. You know what I'm saying? Y'all buy a house together. Like, it's group economics. You know what I mean? Asian people do that. Like I said, it's a lot of cultures that do that. And it's going to become vital that you operate as a group. Because as an individual, you don't have the same buying power as an individual that you do as a group. It's way easier for 5 people to save $100,000 than one person. You know what I'm saying? And so it's 5 of y'all, all that's 20 grand a piece. One person, that's gonna take you years, which could take, it may take you, let's just throw out a number, 10 years to save $100,000, but to save 20,000, maybe 2. You see what I'm saying? Like 5 people. And then you can collectively buy assets and have groups that own things as a group. Mm-hmm. That's what I was talking to my family about. Like, yo, this is the play. Because if push comes to shove, you get put into a UBI situation. Because what's going to happen is that it's like welfare. We talked about this before. There will be caps on how much you can earn before they start taking your money away. And it'll be to where if you can make enough money on your own, if you have a side hustle or something like that, you won't be able to make enough money to actually sustain your life before they take all that other money away, which is going to force you to take the money. You see what I'm saying? And then, of course, if you pay one price if the government is giving you the money and you're paying. It's like housing. You pay a certain amount if you're paying through housing versus if you pay out of your own pocket. You know what I mean? It may be $800 something with the government subsidy, but then on your own it's $1,200. You know what I'm saying? Because you get discounts coming through the government. It's the same concept, but it's gonna cover every area of your life. So if you start trying to crawl out of this bucket, like there will be caps put on top of stuff to keep you in the bucket. But one thing that they can't stop is if you work together as a family. Okay, gonna be targeting me now.
No, it's true though.
Yeah, but yeah, you work together as a family, and you work as a group to own assets, because that is and will always be like the way to independent wealth and like freedom is asset ownership, owning things that have value.
Yeah,
it's super important that you start to focus on that
and doing it together, because that's something that you're right. Like I feel like a lot of people, we don't believe in that anymore, but you are powerful together. You have to stick together. You can make so much more movement, so much more progress if you do it together. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And so like find some friends, people that you trust, family members, and start looking at ways to collectively build mm-hmm. independent wealth so that you don't have to depend on society and your government to like subsidize your whole life, because at that point you become property of the government. Like point blank period. You don't have any choice. You can't do anything else but stay in this spot, because you don't have the brevity to be able to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? So like that would be the things I would say. If you have the money now, start buying assets. Now, assets are things that have that hold real value. You see what I'm saying? Like you got credit cards and stuff, you swiping that's plastic money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an idea, really. And at any point, that stuff can be altered. They can change your interest rates, and they can do a lot of different things with that. But if you own something that's tangible, like they can't take that. That has value. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the things you need to start to focus on, like spending your money and like reallocating your funds to focus on buying assets, tangible, real life stuff that has value. That's gonna be super important in the future. You know what I'm saying? Group economics, getting with people that you can trust, and then y'all look at pooling your money together and buying percentages of things. Instead of you trying to own everything by yourself, because we live in a world where everybody wants to be independent, it's a trap. Because you have people that have generational money that's been handed down from generations. That's what they operating with. You can't compete with them as an individual. You have to start working collectively to start trying to figure out ways that you can own things as a group and get
financial freedom.
Correct, as a group. You know what I'm saying? Like if you own one house 100%, it's better to own 20% of 5 houses, 20% of 10 houses. Much better. You know what I'm saying? I remember, and we gonna wrap this down. I don't know, Mari went out, it was silent. I remember Jay-Z said one day, he was like, 20% of $1 million is better than 100% of 50,000. You know what I'm saying? When you do the math, that's true. And the point he was making is that ownership is important, even if it's percentages. Like you do business with people and you come into agreements with people. Like if you just own a percentage, or if you own 100% of something and you can partner with somebody that can take your business to another level, and you give them a percentage of your ownership, it's better because you make more money based on the percentage of the overall pie that you're able to generate. You know what I'm saying? Versus just trying to do everything by yourself and you're stuck with this minimal return. Now, I'm sure that makes sense. I'll try to make something as simple as possible.
Does.
Yeah. So like group economics is going to be super important, and then like keep, as you say, and the term is like keeping your feet on the ground is going to be very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Keeping in touch with reality, making sure that you have mental exercise. People are spending so much money, and we done. I think we'll wrap it up. People spend so much money on physical workout equipment, making their bodies look nice, but people don't really take the time to exercise their mind, and you need to. You
Touch
need
some
to
grass.
make sure,
Touch some grass.
Now listen. You need to make sure that you stay tethered to reality, that you deny this impulse to just get lost in this virtual world. Have the hard conversations, face the difficult issues, like make sure that you take the time to think about stuff. Like I said, reading a book is important. It helps your mind to be able to it helps you in the ability to formulate thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're reading. Make sure that you're having difficult conversations. That's important because it helps you to be able to process information, even stuff that you may not want to. It helps with your ability to handle stress because you're going to need that. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that you're going to need. And we'll talk more about some things in later episodes. But that's 3 things I would say off the top that people really need to be focused on right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the stuff that's coming, like, it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise, and a lot of people will not be prepared for it. When mass, like, layoffs and unemployment becomes a thing, and then they're going to usher in, well, here's the solution. You're going to get, the government's got your back. You're going to give out these checks, like the stimulus checks. You're going to get a couple $1,000s a month, plus you get housing situation. We have a housing crisis. Well, we got these places that we've set up. People, like, listen, they already planning this stuff. This is not like, and they're going to plan it like, oh, it caught it by surprise. No. Listen, with little freedom you have left, they're going to take that too. And they're going to sell it to you, like you said, as like, this solution to the problem, we got your back. The government, we care about people. The companies, we care about these people, blah, blah, blah. No. They're going to have you in a box, doped up, living in a virtual world while those that have will live the lives that you are intended to live. No more lines at Disneyland, you know what I'm saying? They gonna take their kids, no lines at Disneyland, you know what I'm saying? Or you over there riding a virtual roller coaster. That's it for today. I hope that the episode was beneficial. Like I said, man, look into the stuff, rewatch it, go do your own research. You'll find the things that we're talking about are true. Start making preparations. You need to take this stuff seriously because you don't want to be the one to get caught in a tsunami because there's no swimming in a tsunami, only drowning. You know what I'm saying? So that is the episode for today. We want to leave you like we always do, asking that you stay safe,
Stay blessed,
and please stay human.